and cheer, July and long for old Ohio. 4-2, day we raise the green and white above the rest. Our team is fighting, and they are bound to win the fray. We got the team, we got the steam, for this is old Ohio's day. Stand up and cheer, July and long for old Ohio. 4-2, day we raise the green and white above the rest. Our team is fighting, and they are bound to win the fray. We got the team, we got the steam, for this is old Ohio's day.
We proudly present the most exciting band in the land, the Ohio University Marching 110.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We have lots of great things planned. Before we get started, I'd like to recognize Vicki McFadden from our alumni office. Vicki, where are you?
Here.
Vicki, this place looks amazing. The color schemes, the flowers, the lights, the attention to detail. Thank you so much for transforming River City into our wonderful gala. And while we are talking about appearances, what a fine-looking group of Bobcats. You all clean up very well. In fact, I need to have proof of this night. I need a few pics to prove that not only did we successfully invade West Virginia, we also looked our best doing it. So, if everyone would please sit up straight, put your shoulders back, and say cheese, we are going to capture this moment as quickly as we can. Thanks, Colton. At this point, I would like to introduce Reverend Lee Eilert for tonight's invocation. Reverend Eilert.
Please join with me in prayer. O living and loving Lord of all creation, the source of wisdom and fountain of truth, we gather this evening to give thanks for the many blessings that have come to our community and the world through the work of scholars, teachers, administrators, staff, and students who have been part of Ohio University Eastern family over the past 60 years. We give thanks for those whose vision and perseverance led to an institution that has provided opportunities for learning and gaining the wisdom and skills needed to be leaders throughout the world. We give you thanks for those who have moved on from OUE to serve in ways that have contributed to both youth and adults discovering their gifts and talents, and then developing those gifts and talents to be used in ways that reflect your loving presence in the world. We give you thanks for the blessings experienced in the past, but we also pray for your guidance and wisdom as we look to the future. Bless the efforts of this institution to open the eyes, ears, minds, and hearts of all those who are now part of the OUE family, as well as those who will be part of that effort in the coming years. Finally, O Lord, we give you thanks for the gifts of food and drink, and for the efforts of those who have prepared and are serving these wonderful gifts. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Eilert. If everyone could please remain seated, our host from River City will be coming around to escort you to the buffet. In the meantime, I would like to introduce you to several of our students and alumni that are helping here tonight by volunteering. Our students are used to multitasking, and that's a good thing, as these young people have many things to do tonight. From left to right, in the back of the room. Give me a wave so we can see there. Left to right. Lakin, in the green dress, she is a first-year law student, recent graduate. Rhett is an aviation major. Maddie is going into nursing. Megan. You are in human biology. All right. And Katie. Katie is in applied management. And Jacob is also studying biology. So how about a hand? Jacob, I think you might have been better off going into business. I noticed all of the raffle tickets that were sold from your table. It's quite impressive. So enjoy your meal. We'll start back with our program when you all are finished. Welcome again to our 60th anniversary gala. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get the program started. How about a big round of applause for Jason and River City on excellent meal. And Allison, I'm not going to let you sneak away yet. Let's certainly recognize the string quartet, Strings by Allison. I'd like to begin our program by recognizing a number of people who have positively affected OUE. Warning, warning, warning. This list is extensive. In addition to that, the folks on the list are quite the popular figures. It's going to be tough, but in the interest of time, let's try to hold our applause until the end of each section, as we have lots of ground to cover in a very short time. I'd like to start by welcoming several special guests. Our state representative of the 96th District, Mr. Jack Serra. And Jack is accompanied tonight by his wife, Becky. Belmont County Commissioner J.P. Dutton and his wife, Stacy. They are here, believe me. Give it up for them anyhow, it's fun. And we'll try to pick up the pace now. The Honorable Frank Frigiato and his wife, Cynthia. Former State Senator, retired State Senator Jim Carnes and his wife Frankie Lee. Former State Senator Lou Gentile and longtime Mayor of St. Clairsville, Bob Vincenzo and his wife Lorinda. And finally, we'd also like to recognize the president from Belmont College, Dr. Paul Gasparo. Paul, we're very glad that you and your team could join us tonight. So let's get a round of applause for all of the dignitaries. Paul's a popular guy tonight. I consider myself very fortunate to have known every dean in the history of Ohio University Eastern. Let me say they are a wonderful group of leaders and even better people. From 2013 to present, Paul Abraham. 2007 to 2013, Rich Greenlee, who is accompanied by his wife Cindy. Paul Bibbins served from 2004 to 2007. Unfortunately, Paul cannot be here with us tonight, but he certainly wishes us his best. Bill Willen was the interim dean from 2003 to 2004, and he is now the executive dean for regional higher education. Bill is here tonight with his wife, Marcia. Unfortunately, Jim Newton could not be here with us tonight. Jim served 20 years as the campus dean from 1983 to 2003, and he has been battling an illness as of late for the last several months, and unfortunately, he called me last night, and he is at Allegheny Hospital, and so he's not able to join us tonight. I know he's disappointed because his entire family was planning on coming in from all parts of the country, and so he did want to wish us his best. He also wanted to let everyone know that it is not life-threatening. He's going to be okay. He just cannot be here tonight. Mike McTeague was the interim dean from 1982 to 1983. Mike is joined tonight by his sons Christopher, Kent, and Matthew. And finally, again to my left over here, Bob Bovenizer. Bob was our dean. Yeah. Bob, it was amazing. You were our dean for 25 years, the longest tenure of any dean in OUE history, and we are very pleased that you could join us tonight with your daughter Elaine and your son-in-law Scott. So how about a big round of applause for all of our deans? The Community Advisory Board at OUE began meeting about 18 months ago. The mission was to generate ideas, to strengthen existing relationships, and create new partnerships within our community. One of the many ideas that the board helped to develop was this gala event night. They envisioned a large crowd with lots of excitement and lots of goodwill. By looking around, I say, mission accomplished. The members of the board include Jenny Favid, Rich Greenlee, Debbie Kenny, Sarah Mahan Hayes, Dan Millison, Jerry Narcissi, Denise Penns, Bob Sugart, Harry White, and Paul Abraham. How about an applause for our community advisory board? And an invitation, if any of you would like to join us on the advisory board, we're certainly always open, as Harry's smiling there, to new input and new suggestions. So let us know after the fact. By my last count, we had 33 sponsors for tonight's event. And I am literally all over the map trying to describe your generous support of OUE. Words like awesome, overwhelming, incredible, and humbling come to mind. But one thing is certain, your support has made this incredible night possible, and we cannot thank you enough for your friendship. The green and white sponsors: Capstone Holding Company, Eagle Creek Farm Properties, and Sugared Farms. I believe they're sitting right over here. How about a round of applause? Our gold sponsors: Dr. Paul Abraham, Belmont College, Belmont Savings Bank, Bordis and Bordis, the Ohio Alumni Association, HGR Homes, Lee and Associates, the Millicent Insurance Agency, Project Best, River City, Keith Summer, Harry and Sue White, WTRF, and the Times Leader. Let's get a round of applause for our gold sponsors. And our table sponsors. And this is really a great group, and I would like to recognize all of the high schools that are here tonight. You know, we are a school system that only recruits, 99.9% comes from our local school system. And so to have you all here tonight, we are really appreciative, and that sends a really big message to our campus. So thank you for attending. They are Barnesville High School, Belmont College, Bridgeport High School, Buckeye Local High School, Bricker and Eckler, Jim and Frankie Lee Carnes, Dean Emeritus James Newton, Harrison Central High School, Home Savings Bank, Martins Ferry High School, Mike McTeague, Lorinda Saxby and Bob Vincenzo, the St. Clairsville Rotaries, Union Local, and Yawn Electric. How about a big round of applause for all of our sponsors? On October 4th, 1997, just over 20 years ago, we had another big celebration at OUE. The dedication of the new Health and Physical Education Center. I was the new kid on the block, hired as the facilities director only 6 months prior, and I have some vivid memories of that night I'd like to share with you. First, I remember the marching of the 110. Their energy, their passion, their teamwork still amazes me to this day. I also recall bumping into then President Robert Glidden. He was kind of an intimidating person, and I remember him telling me, as a matter of fact, what a lucky young man I was. Of course, he was referring to my job as the director of Ohio University's newest facility. But I was lucky far beyond President Glidden's imagination. For I was also married to the prettiest girl in town. Would everyone meet my wife, Lori, right there? For a round of applause. And Lori and I were brand new parents for the very first time. A beautiful baby girl named Lakin. And you met Lakin earlier. The other thing that sticks out to me was the community support. The parking lot was full, the bleachers were packed, the people were genuinely excited to support OUE. And I'm happy to report that not much has changed in the past 20 years. If anything, it has gotten even better. The Marching 110 is still amazing. And I am incredibly lucky, for Lori is still putting up with me. And we now have 3 children. And we all bleed green and white. Lakin is no longer a baby. She is now a Bobcat alum and attending law school. Our middle child, Rhett, is a full-time student at the Eastern Campus, and I'm very excited to announce, I know Dennis Fox, our theater director, is back there, that our 9-year-old Jana Lou is making her OUE theater acting debut in A Christmas Carol on November 30th. And we all hope that you will come out for that debut. I'm also fortunate to have spent the past 20 years employed at a university that provides access to a high quality and affordable education for our local community. One that has opened the doors to a world of possibilities for our students, many of whom are first generation. I have been inspired by their work ethic, determination, and perseverance at all times as they strive to reach their goals, often against all odds, to achieve their dreams. And I am fortunate to have been part of a faculty and staff that works hand in hand with our students to encourage them every step of the way. And lastly, all I have to do is look out into the audience tonight to know without a doubt that the community support is stronger than ever for Ohio University Eastern. I'm so proud to see so many students, faculty, alumni, community leaders, area high schools, and friends of the Eastern Campus here tonight. We have counted on your support for the last 60 years, and you have never let us down. And let me assure you, that feeling is mutual. 60 years ago, the mission of OUE focused on the community. That mission has never changed. We have been, are, and will always be here for this community. So, this is where we get to have a little fun. On the count of 3, please stand up if you are a student, faculty member, or alum. Please stand up if you are a sponsor, a donor, or a friend. Please stand up if you have been positively affected by OUE. And please stand up if we can count on your support going forward. 1, 2, 3. Please remain standing for a minute. When I used to run basketball camps, if the kids got up that slowly, I'd have them sit back down and say, all right, now let's get back up. We're not going to do that, but I would like to try something with you. When I say, OU, you say, oh yeah. OU. Oh yeah. OU. Oh yeah. OU. Oh yeah. Thank you very much. Now it's time to sit back, relax, and watch the fastest 60 years video produced by our own Jay Morris.
This year, Ohio University Eastern celebrates its 60th anniversary. It all began in 1957 with a few evening classes at Martins Ferry High School, and today we offer 13 bachelor degrees. I'm proud to have served 53 of those years here at the Eastern Campus. The fashions and the hairstyles have changed over the years, but one thing has remained a constant, and that is our commitment to bringing an Ohio University education to the students of the Ohio Valley. So sit back, relax, as we take you back for a look at Ohio University Eastern's first 60 years.
Parents well, their children's hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picked, the one you know by. Everything turn, 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 there is a season. Turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. Oh, the times they are a-changing.
unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. I could change the world. I would be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good, baby, if I could change the world, baby, if I could change the world, baby, if I could change the world. Learning experience, make the grade one student at a time. Help to build a better you. Now it's up to you. Come to OU Eastern, OUE. It's the place to be. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Paul Abraham, Dean of the Eastern Campus. It's so nice to have this evening together with everyone to celebrate 60 years of OUE. Having great surrounding communities to work with is a key factor to success for a regional campus. And tonight is evidence that we sure got it, and we so much appreciate it. As Dean of OUE, I want each and every one of you to know how much the campus appreciates you and what you've done for OUE. Sponsors, donors, alumni, and friends, can we each give everyone here a round of applause? I can't do it myself. Thank you so much for everything. For many years, OUE served primarily as a convenient and affordable access point for students in the Ohio Valley to begin their college education. At first in Martins Ferry, and as of 50 years ago, at our location in St. Clairsville with the opening of Shannon Hall. As time progressed, students could complete more and more of their bachelor degree right at OUE. Then a few degrees, whole degrees became possible, and today 13 complete bachelor degrees can be done at OUE, and we have many students staying, but we still love very much our mission of helping students get started, and for many of them, they continue on to Athens. The fact that we've grown with so many programs has a lot to do with the excellent faculty and staff at the campus, and through the many collaborations we have across RHE and with our colleges in Athens. As a smaller campus, our faculty always have to be in invent mode. They always have to be looking for new opportunities for our students, and they have to be exceptionally good at it. They have been pioneers with the use of instructional technology. They've been pioneers with developing distance learning courses and in coordinating new degrees for OUE, not just for our students, for students across the whole regional campus system. They've also been very good about forging strong relationships with the students. When I meet alumni from across the years and across the valley, the story is pretty much always the same. They express great appreciation for what they learned. They express great appreciation for OUE being here. And they talk about how essential the faculty and staff have been to their success in their careers in life. That for me is the greatest success I can point to as a campus dean. I'd like to take a moment and ask all of the faculty and staff of OUE, past and present, because we have a lot of people here from across the years. If you would please stand, I'd like to recognize you, please. Good number of people there. OUE, like all colleges and universities, has its challenges, but we've always had much more to be proud about. With our mission and what we do every day, and that keeps us moving forward. Our core mission to provide affordable, high-quality, university-level education resonates in the Upper Ohio Valley. Every student that we serve is an opportunity to do something important for our region. That's why I'm so thankful for the amazing support we have received from our Gala. Tonight is about celebrating 60 years, but it's also about celebrating our future with the creation of new endowed scholarships for our students. Before I move on to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Bill Willen, I also want to thank the Campus Foundation Advisory Committee, which spearheaded the planning of this event. A lot of people made a lot of important contributions to get the Gala off the ground. I want to especially recognize two members. One who you already know a lot about, EJ. So EJ, if you'll stand. And Denise Penn. Denise Penn, will you stand? The amount of energy and strategy that these two have put into has been amazing, and you can see the result has been just absolutely great. You know, I want to thank, you guys clapped for him already, but I really at least want to point him out, Mr. Jay Morris. Jay, at Rotary get fined $1 for shameless advertising, but Jay is a phenomenal media director, and you see he's put together a great event. So let's give him another round of applause. Okay, so now I'll introduce Dr. Bill Willen. He's our Executive Dean for Regional Higher Education. In that role, he provides an overall leadership for the 5 regional campuses of Ohio University. Successful leaders normally have a diverse skill set that glimmers even at a young age. And I want to know, it's interesting if people know this, I didn't know this until not long ago. In 1976, Bill was both a published poet and an academic All-American football player. Isn't that amazing? A lot of his know-how as a leader is derived from his long history at Ohio University, and we have his wife, Marcia, as noted, to thank for bringing him to Ohio University. So thank you, Marcia. He was a trailing spouse. Bill's very first post at OUE, in fact, he was an English adjunct at the OU Chillicothe campus, and that started in 1999. But, you know, people put 2 and 2 together really fast, and they could tell his great administrative skill, and he had a lot of experience he brought with him from the University of Maine. And by 2000, he joined Central Administration Office in Athens to become the coordinator of academic planning for the regional campuses. And so then for the next few years, Bill was center stage in a critical time at OU when, okay, now people who know about regional campuses and main campus, you can understand, there was a time when associate degree programs moved from the colleges in Athens out to the regionals. And there was also a time when the regionals began to offer their own bachelor degrees. So I'm imagining many, many interesting conversations, negotiations, and I'm thinking Bill used that 1976 experience, both poet and football player, to get everything done. In 2003, Bill was here for a year as interim dean, and then from 2008 to 2013, he served as the dean of the Southern Campus. And then since then, he's been our executive dean for regional higher education. So let's give Bill a warm welcome back.
I must say that it's good to be back. I always enjoy the trip up 77 and 70. And I must say as well that coming into Wheeling, it was easy to get lost. So glad to be back in Wheeling. Glad to have somebody else driving. So, I do want to say that my year at the Eastern Campus was a very special year to me. During that year, Marcia contracted breast cancer. The kind of support we got from the Eastern Campus was remarkable. And she's with me tonight. We are very pleased to be back. Eastern is a place where you learn, okay? And so I learned quite a few things. Like Wednesday is the day at Schlepp's where they have the cornbread and beans. Okay, so that I learned. I learned about James Wright, who wrote that poem, something about autumn begins at Harper's Ferry. And I'm told there's going to be a conference on James Wright coming up. Tom told me he'd give me a buck if I didn't make that announcement. I learned that you could get removed from a political rally for wearing the wrong t-shirt and get profiled in the New York Times. So I learned, the small child in me got to drive the big tractor that mows the lawn out at, so I got to do that as well. I learned about the foraging habits of the queen snake. I learned about history professors who, in order to clear the grounds for cross-country meets, just take saws to local shrubberies. So you have to ask, what's that professor doing with that saw? And speaking of history, I learned that if you have 50 years and boundless energy, you can perform every task, every role known to higher education. Isn't that right, Michael? And I learned that big voices come from small packages, and I'm looking forward to listening to the Sarah Hayes Band later this evening. But mostly I learned that I was in a group of very dedicated faculty, staff, dedicated to the local students, that they are both demanding of the students and supportive of them because they want them to succeed. I can't tell you the respect that I gained for the job they were doing. I know they serve the region and they serve regional campuses as well. In my role as Executive Dean for all of the Ohio University's regional campuses, I've worked with Eastern faculty to develop baccalaureate programming on the regional campuses. I would point out that Warren Galbraith was in the lead for bringing the social work program out to regional campuses. That now has 300 students in it. So the job he did was tremendous. Mark Waters spearheaded the bringing of the human biology program out to the regional campuses. We're now developing a pathway from our human biology program to the physician's assistant program in Dublin. So OU's going to have a guaranteed pathway for students to get into that degree program as well. And my experience at the Eastern Campus helped prepare me for my subsequent role as Dean of the Southern Campus, where I would frequently call Rich Greenlee. Rich, you can testify to this being the truth, right? Frequent calls. And what was it about? What was Mike McTeague doing now? He would frequently contact my faculty. So it has a special place in my heart. I know it as a place that has commitment to quality education, that serves the Valley well. I know that the people, the staff, the faculty also are very supportive, and I am so grateful to be here tonight to celebrate this occasion with you. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the chair of Ohio University's Board of Trustees, Janetta King. And let me just say a couple of words about Janetta, which I have a handy-dandy little. She is a graduate of Pepperdine University with degrees in English and political science. She started Innovation Ohio and did that for, I think, three years. She has been a staff member for the governor's campaign manager, Governor Strickland, who appointed her to the board. She has been I'm getting the wrong, there we go. She has been, she's worked in Heidelberg, Germany for the U.S. Department of State and has supervised elections in Kosovo and Bosnia. And she has been a leader in the implementation of Governor Strickland's public policy agenda, including legislation to ensure Ohio children have access to affordable health care, Ohio's advanced energy standards, the first bipartisan job stimulus bill in the country, a complete overhaul of Ohio's education system and funding formula, and she has shown a significant interest in the regional campuses. This is probably the third time in just the recent months that she's been out here with us, and it's my pleasure to bring her forward at this time. Jeanette?
Good evening, thank you. My husband John and I are happy to be here with you. Tonight I am representing the Board of Trustees, and I currently serve as the chair of the board. And I am honored to be part of Ohio University's Board of Trustees. The board, I don't know if you know, but it is a 9-member board, and everyone's appointed by the governor, and it's a 9-year term, and it's a volunteer position. So we are expected to engage and be at meetings and take votes that impact the university. And when Governor Strickland appointed me, someone that I didn't know, or someone who didn't know much about Ohio University asked me, why in the world would you sign up for a 9-year unpaid commitment? Are you crazy? And I was kind of taken aback by that, because that person clearly didn't know much about Ohio University. Because if you know what Ohio University is about, if you know what OU means to our students, our alumni, and their families, if you know the impact that Ohio University makes on economic development in this region and across Ohio, it really is not a hard decision to be involved in this university. And I have to imagine those of you who spend time serving on our Regional Coordinating Council also feel that way as you're giving your time to support our mission. So right now I would like to ask if you currently serve or have ever served on the Regional Coordinating Council, could you please stand so we can say thank you for your time? You give us your time and energy so that we can do what we do better, and we really value the opportunity that you give us to listen to you for your guidance on how we can better impact the community, help with economic development, and grow this part of the state. And I personally feel very strongly about this part of the state and families in this region being able to thrive. And it probably has something to do with my grandmother growing up on Wheeling Island. And I heard many stories when I was growing up about my grandmother and her brother walking the bridges, about the horse racing, about the floods, about my great-grandfather Pap taking the bus to his job at the power plant. And when my grandmother was a teenager, her family moved down the river so Pap could work at the plant in Beverly, Ohio, and my family is still there today. So my family runs long and deep along this Ohio River, and that's why I'm honored to be associated with Ohio University and every day get up to support the impact that this university is making in the region. And a few months ago, I had a young woman from a southeastern Ohio high school shadowing me at my job in Columbus. And she asked me, kind of concerned, she said, "Is being from Appalachia a negative when you want to start your career?" And I thought about it, and I told her honestly what I believed, and that is, growing up in this area and living in Appalachia actually gave me something that has helped me be more successful than anything else. And that is grit and work ethic. You put your head down and you get work done. And that's what I saw in these communities every single day growing up here. The people of Appalachia have an incredible work ethic. We are extremely capable, driven people, and often the only thing we lack is opportunity. And you here at OU Eastern are giving individuals the opportunity to take that work ethic and combine it with higher education and make lives better for themselves and their families. And the stats about this campus bear that out. 31.9% of OU Eastern students are first-generation students. 31.9%. That's changing lives. 30% are non-traditional students, meaning that they're coming back to college a little bit later in life to better their families. And if you want to talk about grit and work ethic, the retention rates here are among the highest in OU's regional campus system. So we have very capable, determined students, many facing some challenges like we all do, but they are working hard and succeeding with the help of OU Eastern. And so without you being here doing the work that you're doing, supporting the university in the ways that you are supporting the university, many of these individuals would not be pursuing higher education. They would not be landing the jobs that they're landing, and they would not be building the careers that they are building today. So for an institution like OU, it's not enough just to offer high quality education. It's how we offer it and where we offer it, which is why we are here doing this. And what is happening today at this campus, as it's happened in the last 60 years, is changing lives. We know that Americans with college education have a far lower unemployment rate. They earn significantly more during their lifetimes. And the people in this area deserve that just as anybody else does. So at a time when earning a college degree is more important than ever, OU Eastern is bringing that promise of higher education to the people of this area who otherwise would not be getting that. And as a result, you are transforming lives. And it's interesting to be here tonight because we sit in our board meetings and we put the mission of the university up, always, every time we meet, on the PowerPoint. And the mission is that we aspire to be the nation's best transformative learning community where students realize their promise. And that's exactly what's happening here. And you all are the reason that OU's mission becomes reality every day. And you're not just having an impact on individuals, the impact that you have on the community is just incredible, and we talked a little bit about that tonight. And in fact, as we celebrate 60 years of the university here, there are some other smaller anniversaries within the campus that I think capture the commitment that OU has to the region. We talked about our campus theater program. Our campus theater director is getting ready to celebrate 35 years of community engagement through the theater's productions each semester. And we also talked a little bit about the Health and Physical Education Center, celebrating its 20th anniversary, hosting sporting events, including the Ohio Valley Athletic Conference boys and girls tournaments. And I know from experience, for many of those young people that are coming onto campus to play those games, that's the first time that they'll be stepping foot on a college campus. And so by hosting that, you're really sending a strong message about the access that they have to higher education. We're also committed to collaboration in the community. We have a partnership with Belmont College and the Belmont Harrison Career Center as part of a workforce and job training grant. And we host the annual Shark Challenge, where area college teams get to pitch ideas in front of local business leaders. And we're a partner and active in the Upper Ohio Valley STEM Cooperative. And we're also very proud of our involvement in the Ohio Valley Higher Education Research Consortium that is currently focusing on the opioid crisis. So that's something that is certainly a challenge for this area, and we want to be part of the solution. And so tonight we talked a lot about the past and the present, but before I close, I'd just like to take a moment to peek into the future. It's an exciting time to be a regional campus for Ohio University, and here's why. Ohio University is launching something called the Ohio for Ohio Initiative. OU Eastern and other regional campuses are uniquely positioned to lead the way on this Ohio for Ohio initiative. And that's because it's an initiative that maximizes who we are as a system that's all connected. And it's an initiative that will highlight and support and challenge us to think bigger about what's being done on campuses like this. So we will celebrate the last 60 years of success. We will look forward to building on the next 60 years. And I want to leave you with one last thought. I'm sure many of you have done this, but since I've been on the board, I've been really interested in learning about Ohio University's history. And if the picture earlier didn't make you sit up a little straighter, when you learn about Ohio University's history, it will make you sit up a little bit straighter. We were the first university that was established due to an act of Congress. We were the very first. And this was so early in our country's history, 1787 to be exact, that this was done by the Confederation Congress, which operated under the Articles of Confederation. And here is what they said in the ordinance of 1787 when they established the Northwest Territory. Religion, morality, and knowledge being necessary to good government and the happiness of mankind, schools and the means of education shall forever be encouraged. And it was out of that in 1787 that Ohio University became what it is today. So thank you for being here tonight to support OU Eastern and for the contributions each and every one of you make. And like Congress charged us to do, I hope we will always and forever encourage higher education in our region. So as I exit the stage, I want to introduce a video. Dr. Nellis, President Nellis, is Ohio University's new president. Ohio University hasn't had a lot of presidents throughout our long history. He's only the 21st president of the university, so it was very special to be part of last year where we chose a new university president. He couldn't be here tonight, he regrets that, but he did want to share a video message that I believe we have teed up on the screen. Thank you.
Welcome back. What an exciting day. I truly wish I could be there with you to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Eastern Campus, but unfortunately I had prior commitments. Being new to Ohio University, one of my initial goals was to become as familiar as possible with all of its unique dimensions. With that being said, my trip to the Eastern Campus in August was a fantastic experience. I toured many of the buildings, including the chemistry and physics labs and the Great Western Schoolhouse. I met with our exceptional faculty and staff who work at Ohio University Eastern. I had lunch with students, many of them first in their family to go to college, who were so very appreciative of the personal attention they received at Ohio University Eastern. They raved about their professors and the life-changing experience that they all had at OUE. You helped make all this possible. Your support has contributed to OUE's 60-year history of academic excellence. Your commitment to your local community and the recognition OUE plays in that relationship brings great pride to your state and to Ohio University. I believe wholeheartedly in the slogan, Ohio for Ohio, which represents our mission not just in Athens or at our regional campuses, but across the entire state. And I can say without a doubt that Ohio University Eastern is living up to its end of the bargain. So thank you, Eastern Campus, for 60 years of excellence, and thank you, fellow Bobcats, for joining us for this great celebration tonight. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I look forward to seeing you all in the near future.
Good evening. So I've been asked to give remarks a couple times in the past couple weeks, and I've had to follow the president on almost all those occasions. So I think that I need to talk to EJ and some other folks about scheduling and get me on the schedule a little bit earlier, because as you know, it's very difficult to follow a university president and our chair of board of trustees. But welcome, my name is Dave Bambry. I'm the interim assistant vice president for alumni relations and the executive director of the Alumni Association at Ohio University. I wanted to start and just say it's been an absolute pleasure to work with EJ, Dean Abraham, Dean Willen, and their teams to make this night possible. Can you please join me in celebrating the team behind this special night with a round of applause again? Thank you. The Ohio Alumni Association and its regional campus partners aim to meaningfully engage alumni and friends of this institution through initiatives and events that remind us why we are so proud to be Bobcats. No matter if your Ohio experience took you to Athens, St. Clairsville, Lancaster, or one of our many other remarkable regional campuses, I think we can all agree that there's a powerful, intangible quality that all Bobcats possess as a result of their education from Ohio's first and finest institution. Tonight we celebrate the 60th year anniversary of Ohio University Eastern. To commemorate this milestone and the thousands of Eastern Campus graduates who are among our ranks of esteemed alumni, we asked several of them to tell us about how they felt about their experience here. Please join me in watching the video.
In the fall of 1969, some 48 years ago, as a young man from Maynard, Ohio, I met Bob Bovenizer, the dean, and he was so welcoming to many of us who wanted to pursue a college education and ultimately did at Ohio University Eastern. We got a quality education from professors from Athens and others who brought with them a lot of experience and taught us what we needed in our respective careers to be successful.
OUE's been really great to me and my family. My parents actually met out here in the hallway, but I got my bachelor's in exercise physiology here, went on to physical therapy school, and I'm now a doctor in physical therapy. I was definitely challenged here at Ohio University Eastern, but I also felt it prepared me well for graduate school, and I felt like I had a head start on a lot of other students.
Obviously, I was still nervous going into the classroom, but I felt prepared because my teachers put me in great situations. They put me in great student teaching classrooms that taught me a lot, and the classrooms at OUE taught me a lot. So I felt prepared and I was ready to go when I got my job.
I don't think I could have had a better experience going to school. Doctors Galbraith and Greenlee were fantastic working with me in both my social work bachelor's and in the master's program. Since graduating, I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of students in their internships, and it really makes me thankful that I chose OUE for my education. I think I was so well-rounded I had a broad base education and that touched on a lot of different areas. OUE is just a fantastic education, and it was a really great experience for me.
I think that I was very well prepared, considering that you go to law school and there are classmates that you have that are from all over the United States. And on the first day of class, 180 people are in a classroom together. You look at these folks and you're really not sure if you should be there. But there was never a time. I think after the first exams, it was clear that the preparation that I received at my undergraduate degree was every bit as good as any of the best students that were in the class.
We have a great science program here. We have so many labs that are so hands-on, and especially the use of the cadaver lab. For grad school, that was the one thing that was really big. OUE gave me that advantage over much larger schools that actually don't have the cadaver lab available.
I attended OUE because it was convenient for me. I was a non-traditional student. I had 2 small children at home, and I was able to commute back and forth every day. I decided that I wanted to get into education after I had already started my family, and OUE was a great choice for me.
OUE provided me an exceptional education that was affordable and close to home. It provided you an experience that allowed you to see different school settings.
You were able to get into a classroom right away. And during your very first year of education, you went into classrooms and you observed, and so you was able to see what it was like. A lot of programs don't do that, and it's difficult because you might get to your last year of education and doing student teaching and decide this is definitely not for me. So it was nice to be able to get into a classroom early on in my career.
Well, for my family, the Perzanowskis, it's been a family affair for a very long time, ever since I can remember. My mom, my dad, a couple of my sisters, aunts, uncles have all spent time at OUE or graduated from OUE, and it's just been a great experience for my entire family. This is home. This is where everything you know is, your family, friends. You can start a career here, you can start your school here, and you don't have to stay, but it's a great place to start your education and begin your professional career.
OUE has provided the foundation, I feel, for where I'm at today. Coming out of high school, I was iffy on what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go, and tried some things. I found that those weren't the best for me, and did come to OUE and was able to establish myself while being comfortable, close to home, and receiving a great education.
I played on a championship volleyball team, graduated with honors with a history degree, and got accepted into all 5 law schools that I applied to.
I graduated as a mechanical engineer. Actually, it was a great start here. I felt, as Danica, the professors, you have small classes and you have a good relationship with them, and the classes are tough, and they were very helpful.
I think Ohio University Eastern has definitely prepared me for anything that comes my way in the future, absolutely.
My fondest memories were I came as an older student and everyone was so welcoming here, and the professors were also wonderful, and they really answered your questions and took care of all your needs. I felt when I left here I was ready to go out and was able to be an effective teacher.
I always wanted to be a teacher. My grandma was a teacher, my mom decided to go back into education, and I think that kind of made me want to as well.
I knew from my experience here that it was an excellent opportunity for her, and not only her, but her sister and her brother, who also attended OU Eastern, to fulfill their educational dreams.
I like that OUE is such a small school. You get a lot of one-on-one experience with the professors. If you have any questions, you can always go talk to them. And I like the family feel of it. I think that between the students and the professors and then everyone else who works here, it just kind of, you have that family feel.
I was able to graduate debt-free, and that's something you don't realize when you're 17, 18, graduating high school, that you have an opportunity to graduate debt-free, and that's something that was really important to me now that I'm trying to buy my own house and doing bigger things with my life. That's something that's really important to me.
A large part of me being able to graduate debt-free was the numerous scholarships that OUE has given to students here. Without the scholarships that I received the past 4 years, I wouldn't have been able to graduate debt-free, and that's a large part of me being able to go to grad school.
Caitlin Miller, Magna Cum Laude.
Several of the alums that were in the video are here with us tonight. Jonathan Everett, Kim Leonard, Willie Luther, Adam Perzanowski, Ben Porter, and Shannon Watson. Would you please stand and be recognized? Nearly 1 year ago, on October 27, 2016, our Community Advisory Board sponsored our 60th anniversary kickoff celebration. Oh, what a night. Where's Jim Vogel? Jim, are you here? There he is. Jim is the superintendent of Martins Ferry Schools. Jim, I know you remember this night. I don't know who was more excited, you or me. We were on cloud nine because we made public for the very first time a $900,000 scholarship endowment from the trust of Dr. Robert Godfrey, which was designed to benefit students from Martins Ferry Schools. Dr. Godfrey, a longtime Martins Ferry resident, had two passions: the potential of the youth of Martins Ferry and the promise of higher education. Jim, I am happy to report to you tonight that we have 7 Purple Riders attending OUE this semester on the Godfrey Scholarship, and this is just the beginning. I think Dr. Godfrey would be pleased. The endowment specifies that we will never touch the principal. We will only give scholarships off the interest. So this amazing gift will go to the Martins Ferry students in perpetuity. At this celebration, we also announced a scholarship goal of $60,000 for our 60th anniversary. The minimum endowment at OUE is $15,000. So our goal was to raise 4 new scholarships. Just when I thought this night couldn't get any better, Denise Penn stepped to the podium and announced a $15,000 scholarship from Home Savings Banks. And she said she was also willing to make a $15,000 match if we could get another donor. Denise, I am thrilled to announce tonight that we have been able to match the Home Savings Bank gift of $15,000 to benefit an additional student. I cannot thank you enough for your commitment to Ohio University Eastern. Your service to the advisory board is invaluable, and I hope you will always be a part of our team. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to meet Denise Penn. Denise, would you come up and say a few words?
I don't have EJ's long legs, so it takes me a little longer to walk up to the front. When EJ first asked me to become involved at OUE, I have to say I didn't know a lot about the school. But what I did know was I wanted to say yes, first because EJ was asking, and you don't say no to EJ, as you all know, since you're here tonight. Second, because I believe in education, and I believe every child should have the opportunity to do that. When I graduated from high school, I joined the U.S. Navy as a means for me to go to college. And I quickly, again, realized how important that was and where it would take me to my future. So as I learned more about OUE, became more involved, the decision to endow 2 scholarships was really easy. OUE gives that opportunity to students that some believe may never happen. So as I've attended graduation, I've gone to plays, I participated in the Shark Tank, I've met the staff, the teachers, the new president, Nellis, and I've been impressed every single time. So I'm proud to be associated with OUE, and I promise I will continue to support the school as long as I am able. So thank you very much.
I am thrilled to announce that we have exceeded our scholarship goal of 4 new endowments and $60,000. Over the past year, we have commitments for 8 new scholarships, totaling just over $250,000. How about a big round of applause? Several of our donors are here with us tonight. If you would all please stand and be recognized. Jonathan Ebert. Jonathan is representing his parents, Jerry and Lova Ebert, John and Rita Dutton and family. Thanks, guys. Rich and Cindy Greenlee. I think Rich is downstairs strumming his banjo. He's got a surprise for us. Mike McTagg and family. Dan Millison, and of course, Home Savings Bank. So there are also several, Dan, where are you at? I'm sorry. And Dan, if you would please join me on the stage for a minute as well. There are also several other donors that couldn't be here tonight, and they wish to remain anonymous. So we'll respect their wishes, but we're very grateful for their support. At this time, I'd like to turn the podium over to a good friend of mine, a Harrison County proud alum. I think he has half of Harrison County here with him tonight, Dan Millison.
Good evening, guys. Earlier when I turned around and was watching the fastest 60 years video, I saw Professor Bush over there. I struggled in his calculus class both times I took it. Look at me now, huh? I'm kidding, but tonight it's my sincere privilege to announce the R. Kinsey Millison Public Service Endowment. Many of my family members and friends are here tonight to remember an incredible man. He was our patriarch, he was a businessman, but above all else, he was a public servant. I'd like to share with you a funny story about my grandfather from his time in the state senate, and it comes from a 1977 Dispatch article. They used to write a gossip column about goings-on in and around the State House, and this time Kinsey made the papers. On a cold February night in the Neal House Bar, a fight broke out. Inside the former Neal House Bar, there were 2 politicians scuffling. Why, you ask? Well, it turns out a congressman from Toledo had pointed out the striking resemblance my grandfather had to Captain Kangaroo. Now, I'm sure this wasn't the first time my grandfather had this comparison made, but for those of you who don't know who Captain Kangaroo is, just know that it's an insulting thing to call a man, doppelganger or not. Blustering and posturing, Kinsey asked this gentleman to go outside, but the gentleman declined. But my grandpa, by nature, was persistent, and at this point, the Columbus Dispatch claims he told the gentleman from Toledo that he was going to, quote-unquote, redistrict his face. The fight then broke up. Both were interviewed later, and my grandpa told the Dispatch he had a lot to learn in Columbus. We lost Grandpa this past January. His wife for 60 years, Ann Millison, is right there. Today, October 14th, marks their 61st anniversary today. Grandma's the one that's kept the whole family together, Kinsey included. And she's still selling real estate at age 81. and still fighting for what she believes in. Grandma has also decided to add to this endowment, so thank you, Grandma. Grandpa and I were especially close. As I made my way in the insurance business, we were around each other a lot. He would come into the office and he would deliver the mail, and he usually would exit, make a short quip and be on his way, but sometimes he would stay and talk. And that helped me a lot when I was overwhelmed in the early going. I became an insurance agent just at age 23, 24. He usually would exit my office if we talked for a while with 4 words. He would say, "Keep your head down." And I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. Now I'm overjoyed to be here, honoring him today, and working for something that we both believe in, public service and public education. Kinsey Millison was a lifelong public servant and a lover of people. He treated everyone, even people in the party that opposed him, with dignity and respect. Wouldn't it be nice to have Kinsey and his compatriots around today? I'd just like to say a word about my own experience right now, and I'm going to talk about OUE a lot, but Belmont College is also involved in what I'm about to say here. They do extremely important work too. OUE means a great deal to me, though. It was there for me in a time in which I was uncertain with what I wanted to do in my life. It gave me time to think. It gave me friendly faces and lifelong relationships with people all over the Ohio Valley. It taught me humility. And it allowed me to finish my college education at a great university in Athens. Our area needs OUE desperately. We live in a band of Appalachian communities, some thriving, but some in despair. Many communities that may not have a way back to prosperity. But OUE, for many people who have been left behind, in many of these forgotten places, is a way forward. OUE represents progress for the worker sent back to college by their employer, for the single mother trying to make a better life for her child, for the 18-year-old with aspirations of being a teacher, who can't afford tuition anywhere else, who can't obtain financial aid and doesn't have a great deal of support from their parents. It catches that person in its 6, 7, or 8 county net and affords them an opportunity to make something more of themselves, more for their family, more for their community, more for their country. OUE needs your help. It needs to be raised up. It should be looked at as a cornerstone of our home, a respected place, an admired place, which fights against a lack of education and ultimately raises a new generation of adults who live here, work here, and live their lives here. And for anyone out there who has decision-making power at Ohio University, please do your state and students a solid by keeping tuition affordable and by providing the funding necessary to allow Ohio University to grow and prosper. Thank you for the opportunity to honor my grandfather, our man from Harrison County, Kinsey Millison. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. That was an amazing speech. I'd like to now ask Mike McTighe to make his way up to the podium. As Mike comes up, I'd like you all to know that he has been making news at Ohio University Eastern for the past 53 years. Ironically, he was just presented 2 nights ago with the prestigious Ohio University Faculty Newsmakers Award at a ceremony in Athens. So congratulations, Mike. Welcome to the podium. I know you're very comfortable up here. Here for Mike McTighe.
I've got 3 minutes and that ain't gonna happen. All right, so number one, we, the faculty at Ohio University Eastern, our administrators, our staff, all our personnel, distinguished guests, and friends of the university, we want to thank you for coming this evening. These are the kind of things that make universities solid. It gives us a chance to celebrate, and we like to celebrate with the community in general. But I do have a special statement that I want to make while I have one man walk forward here for a minute. He can't get the microphone. We will not let Bob Bovenizer touch it. You know, it's the rule, but you ought to at least know who this gentleman is. And if you don't know, this is E.R. Bovenizer. So let's give him a hand. right there. Yes, everybody should stand. In every community that Ohio University has ever moved to, there were people that were the movers and shakers behind the scene. Bob had a position in Athens with a man who was called Dean Gubitz, and he was his assistant. And it was Gubitz who said, let's take communities and see if they'd like to have regional campuses come forward. He had his opportunity to do it in a number of places. He was sent to Lockport Air Force Base, Blytheville, Arkansas. He was in Texas trying to establish bootstrap programs for guys in the military. But he had a chance to come home to Jacobsburg, out here in the back country. But he didn't come home without contacts. Here's a man who knew everybody and anybody, because he spent his time going from place to place and dragging a young boy by the name of Michael McTague with him. So, when I came here, he didn't hire me. I was sent from Athens. So he hired 26 faculty members and really didn't know what the hell to do with me. So he decided I probably needed to be trained. So he gave me an opportunity that never happens to anybody. I had a chance to take every job in the university. He made me sit downstairs and learn the schedule. He made me learn the catalog. I had to learn financial aids. He then took me out on the road and said, you have to meet every superintendent, every principal, every mayor, every member of anybody on any council, and come back and tell me that you did it. He once wrote a contract for me in which I've told our distinguished guests that we sent a contract down to Athens and it said, Mike is supposed to do whatever Tom Stubbs does, which was the associate dean, and do whatever he is if Tom's not here, and then report back and tell him that he did it. I didn't know what that contract was, but they didn't sign it, but it's kind of described the position. And that's what I did. Whenever I had a job, I had time to learn the position. So one more hand for Bob, all right? All right, Robert.
Nobody ever controlled Mike McTague.
Teasingly, when I said I haven't been president, there has never been a young man who ever had more chances to have every job in the university, and it's been a blessing. And I can't express my appreciation to Ohio University in every regard. Now, you got to be lucky and fortunate, and I've had more than my share. When I came, there was Bob Bovenizer, Tom Stubbs, and a woman by the name of Catherine Tedrick, who is the sister of Bob Forsyth, who is the director and architect of our campus, but also of the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. And there's recently been a death in the Tedrick and Forsyth families, and we wanted to wish that family well. But the four of us registered something like 750 students. Today we could have a huge staff, and we have 1,200 students, and I still can't remember how we got it done. All I know was we had a basis for putting Ohio University together. There was Martins Ferry, then St. Clairsville. In St. Clairsville, we used to teach at 4:30 in the evening till 7, and from 7 to 10, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday nights. And we had hundreds of people taking classes on Friday night against football. Who could do that today? Probably never again. And it worked. We also started programs, weekend college. We had design programs for communication. We called them media assisted courses. We bought Annenberg Foundation medical microwave system that was a booster from Athens to Cambridge, Ohio to the Eastern Campus, and we have been transmitting and programming courses over a two-way televised network. This gentleman, Jay, and I chase a number. There's a man back here by the name of Mike Kaiser Mike, stand up, just for the heck of it. He used to say, we need to sit down and make a course that's going to be heard more palatable. So he would ask me questions, and I would answer them. And it sounded like you were in a classroom rather than just a talking head. When did those programs go on? 6 o'clock on Sunday morning, from 6 to 6:30. Now, if you wanted an education, and you were willing to get up at 6:30 in the morning to listen, you wanted an education, and that was true, among other things. One other or two anecdotes, because I know we're out of time. When we had the building come together, we were across the street at the old sanitarium. Students didn't mind it, but their parents hated it because they thought they were going to get tuberculosis. And so we had to scrap that program. Also, we had to hire a boilerman, a guy by the name of Rudy Phillips from Barnesville. He was the only boilerman qualified in the state of Ohio, but he turned out to be one hell of a generalist. He could fix anything, and he was a maintenance man for us for 25 years, and we were the luckiest people alive to have got him at the front end. When we opened the building at the campus, it was in the last stages of construction. You notice no notes on this. And as we come along, we decided we'd help out. So we had 26 faculty, and we ordered steel case desks. And we decided we'll help them move into the building because Otis Elevator went on strike, and they wouldn't let us use the elevator. So we carried steel case desks, which weigh about 275 pounds, up 3 flights of stairs. All 26 of us. We got there to find out that Otis Elevator was going to shut the building down if we didn't turn right around and carry all 26 desks back down the stairs, which we did. The next day, the strike was over, and Otis Elevator, in front of us, walked each desk into the elevator and rode it up, just to make us feel bad, in the general sense of the word. When we come along, we couldn't have done what we did here at Eastern without the kind of people that have been generational to us. We had Austin Furby, for which we have an Austin Furby Award that we present here. We had Mel Sargis, we had Charlie Lynch, we had superintendents from all the area schools starting in Martins Ferry, we had John Laszlo, we had all kinds of political support. Next generation, we had A.G. Lancione, Speaker of the House, who was pushing for us to get assistance. We had both the famous and the infamous Wayne L. Hayes and Robert Ney. They may have had their reputations tarnished, but they were great supporters of Ohio University, doing all manner of things, especially Bob, to try and get us the program, which was called the Ney Center, until he decided it would be politically correct to drop the name. I still call it the Ney Center, and I cherish his time because we would not have been able to get some of that assistance unless somebody is pushing. And each regional campus has had somebody, an Oakley Collins from Southern, you've had a Vernon Rife, you've had a Tom Johnson, always pushing regional campuses, and we've benefited greatly from it. In general, I hope we have the next generation of political figures, Mr. Johnson and others, to continue to do so. I hope our county commissioners, you've got a vast array of support for education. We'd like to see you continue it. He's doing that, and we want to keep those kind of things going well for us. And in closing, we want to say thank you once again for coming tonight. It's been my pleasure to be here for 53 years doing exactly what I've been doing. Thank you. One last thing. One. I have 3 young men. Stand up. So, my wife has an undergraduate and a graduate degree in the College of Education, Ohio University. The first one is Kent David. He's in front, so he's got an undergraduate degree in MIS, Information Systems, and an MBA from Ohio University. Behind him is Christopher, firstborn son. He has an undergraduate degree in criminal justice. And most recently, the third son, Matthew, has an undergraduate degree in music theory and choral conducting from Ohio University. We are basically Ohio University. And we are endowing the scholarship in memory of their mother and the rest of us, who she was the librarian I had to marry so I could have all the jobs at the university.
How about a standing ovation for Mike Mattei? That's definitely a powerful table back there with Bovenizer and McTay. Think of all the wisdom and the conversation going back and forth at that table. I've got some more good news for you. We're going to finish up tonight. All of the proceeds from this gala tonight will also go toward our scholarship endowment. In addition, as always, our faculty and staff have stepped forward through employee giving and are also contributing to the endowment. So all of a sudden, our $250,000 became $300,000. So thank you to all tonight for helping us with that, and thank you to our faculty and staff. Before we close up tonight, in fact, Dr. Greenlee, are you coming up this way or are you performing back there? Going back? That'll be up to you. As you make your move up here, we're going to finish up with a world premiere song from Dr. Richard Greenlee, our former dean, who's also a banjo expert. But before he finishes up, so we will finish with that, I'd like you all to know that the Sarah Mahan Hayes Band, the Sarah Hayes Band, she goes by, will be playing downstairs in the first floor area preceding this event. And we will also, I've been asked numerous times during the event, can I get some more raffle tickets? And so yes, the students will be downstairs and you'll have a last chance to get a raffle ticket, and then we will draw the raffle prizes after a couple of Sarah's songs. Okay, so I want to thank you all for coming here tonight. It has been an amazing night. I think I speak on behalf of the entire university that we are so proud to see 300 Bobcats come out and celebrate our 60th anniversary tonight. And we look forward to the next major event. I'm not sure if we'll have a gala, but we'll have something in the next year or so to bring you all together and celebrate. So thank you all very much. We appreciate your time. We thank the sponsors. We thank the alums. We thank you all. And now for the world premiere song. This is also a sing-along, so I hope, Jonathan Everett, I hope your table will sing along. This is a brand new for OUE. This is our fight song.
You know the banjo has arrived when you're playing at a black tie dinner. That doesn't happen too often. Okay, so the chorus, trying to get everything in. In fact, the verses, I want to make sure you understand that the title of this song is "We Are Small But We Are Mighty," and that's kind of been our refrain, being the smallest of the regional campuses. But within the verses, if you listen closely, you will hear snippets. These are real live students that I'm talking about in here that I've had the pleasure of having to know during my time as a faculty member and a dean here at Ohio University Eastern. And the chorus, as you go along, it'll be repeated several times between the verses. Feel free to join in and sing them loud and proud in that process. But just to give you the chorus here, probably won't hear the banjo quite so much without the amplification on, but that's okay. We are small, but we're mighty, they call us OUE. For 60 years we've served the Ohio Valley. We started at the high school in Martins Ferry. We are Ohio University. All right, that's your part now. Don't let me down. We're going to take your degrees away from you. We won't even admit that you graduated from Ohio University. We are small, but we're mighty. They call us OUE. For 60 years we've served the Ohio Valley. We started at the high school in Martins Ferry. We are Ohio University, the first to go to college and earn a degree. Overcoming all his fears and uncertainties, she came from a high school, a challenge she did seek. She rode a van for many hours in the wee hours of the week. This is your time. We are small, but we're mighty, they call us OUE. For 60 years we served the Ohio Valley. We started at the high school in Martins Ferry. We are Ohio University. University. She sat in that parking lot paralyzed by fear. She summoned up the courage and fought back those tears. She climbed up those many steps and entered Shannon Hall. In time she had the confidence to conquer it all. We are small but we're mighty, they call us OUE. For 60 years we served the Ohio Valley. We started at the high school in Martins Ferry. We are Ohio University. All right, there's people over there rowdy. The first time through he had some fun but left with no degree. Now he was more serious, he had a family. A veteran returned to school, she fought a war afar. Her goal was to help others cope with all those scars. We are small but we're mighty, they call us OUE. For 60 years we served the Ohio Valley. We started at the high school in Martins Ferry. We are Ohio University. A single parent mother, her husband had died. She'd never been to college, but now she must provide. A coal miner lost his job when the mine shut down. They both came to OUE and hope is what they found. Okay, this is it, last time. Let's go, people. We are small but we're mighty, they call us OUE. For 60 years we served the Ohio Valley. We started at the high school in Martins Ferry. We are Ohio University. We are Ohio University. We are Ohio University.
That was a world premiere you all just were part of. Amazing job, Rich. We want to thank you all for coming out tonight. We hope you all will drive home safely. We are going to do the raffle downstairs. You do not need to be present to win. We will contact you. There's so many things to say, but we thank you so very much. I would like to remind you that you all have wine glasses on your table. That is your parting gift to remember our special night tonight. We hope that you will take that with you. And always remember the 60th anniversary at Ohio University Eastern. Thank you very much.